In this video, we are going to discuss regarding importance of anatomy in different fields of botany. So, in earlier video, we have discussed regarding introduction and definition of anatomy, that is the gross study of gross internal structure or characters of plants is called as a plant anatomy. And we have already discussed regarding importance of anatomy in taxonomy as well as in physiology also. Today we are going to discuss importance of anatomy in ecological interpretation, in pharmacognosy and in food identification. So let's start with the importance of anatomy in ecological interpretation. Importance of anatomy in ecological interpretation. See, every plant reacts with the environment in which it grows, and this leads to change in morphology, anatomy and physiology of plant. Such change in characters is known as ecological adaptations. So, the internal adaptation in plant can be detected by the anatomical studies or internal studies, and these characters help in detecting the habitat, that is place of living, and interpreting the effect of environmental factor on the plant. And with the help of specific anatomical characters, plant can be separated into spatial ecological groups such as hydrophytes, xerophytes, mesophytes, halophytes, etc. Now, all these groups have spatial anatomical features. For example, in case of hydrophyte, characters such as absence of stomata, poorly developed mechanical tissue and conducting tissue, presence of parenchyma indicates hydrophytic nature of plant. That is, these plants are aquatic in nature. Secondly, in case of xerophytic plant, the presence of sunken stomata, cuticle, sclerenchymatous hypodermis, well developed conducting tissue indicates the xerophytic nature of plant. Now see, presence of chloroplast in epidermal cells, presence of stomata on both the epidermis indicates that the plant is shade loving habitat. One can, by studying the stomatal complex, one can detect the effect of air pollutants on plants as well as effect of pollutants on plants. The biotic and abiotic stress tolerance in plant can be very well understood by studying their anatomical features. So these are some groups of plant having special anatomical features. On that basis we can interpret their ecological habitats. Next, that is importance in pharmacognosy. See, majority of crude drugs are obtained from plants, as plant parts are known as organized crude drugs. Value of these herbal crude drugs lies in their purity and authenticity, and many anatomical methods are used in identification of crude drug and also in detecting adulterants. And the different methods are used for such studies are section cutting, clearing and peeling, maceration, micrometry, or phytochemical or histochemical testing. Now, see, by sectioning, the anatomical nature of drug is studied and compared with the genuine material. With the help of clearing and peeling, this is carried out in case of drug derived from leaves, and these preparations are used for detecting the nature of epidermal cells, venation pattern, vein isolate number, stomatal number and stomatal index. These observations can be compared with the standard values. Third method, that is Maceration is generally practiced for drugs derived from stems, woods, and bark, and with the help of macerated material so procured can be then used to study stone cells, fibers, and xylem vessels, etc. With the help of micrometry techniques, size of fibers, vessels, spores, etc. can be measured to know the reliable source of drug. And lastly, the histochemical test help in detection and localization of the secondary metabolites of the drugs. With the help of phytochemical test, the chemical nature of therapeutic principles can be confirmed in drugs. So these are some importance of anatomy in pharmacognosy. Lastly, let us discuss importance of anatomy in wood identification. See, application of anatomy in identification of wood is common practice, and identification of wood with external characters is not possible in majority of plants. So, by obtaining transverse, tangential, longitudinal, and radial longitudinal sections, that means TLS and RLS, detailed anatomical characters of wood can be studied. And in these studies, the main characters observed are as follows. First one, pattern of secondary growth, position and nature of growth rings, the presence or absence as well as nature of sclerenchyma of pericycle. Next, width and length of medullary rays and the nature of medullary rays help to understand the nature of wood. So, teak wood, sandalwood, softwood, hardwood, or wood of siso can be identified by knowing their wood anatomy. So, the distribution pattern, diameter, and frequency of the vessels as seen in the tiers can also be observed. Types of perforation, thickening of vessel, length, and diameter of vessels can also be observed in these anatomical studies of wood. And the type of wood parenchyma also helps to study the wood anatomy. So these are the importance of anatomy in wood identification. So here we done with our topic number 1, that is anatomy and its importance. Now we must remember some points from this topic. First one, that is plant body is a cellular structure. Secondly, plant cell is building block of plant body. In higher plants, plant body is complex of tissue and anatomy is synonymous to histology. The anatomical studies provide information about internal characters of plant and about nature and arrangement of tissue. Anatomical characters are useful in identification of plants and plant organs in taxonomy, physiology, pharmacognosy, etc. Histochemistry is useful in detection and localization of secondary metabolites of herbal drugs. And lastly, the anatomy is very important to interpret ecological nature of plants. So these are some important points from the topic. So that's all about topic number 3, anatomy. Thank you.